Welcome to At Home with Sky F1. We've been tasked with the challenge to come up with 4 key features over the years that bring back memories. I've been lucky enough, I've stood on both sides of that, as a driver and equally as part of our presentation team to get that one key moment and pick out on individuals. Starting way back, the one that stands out for me in 2013 was the Great British Quiz. Alongside Jenson, Lewis Hamilton, Max Chilton, we were led by Johnny Herbert and Anne Davidson to go through the knowledge on our sport of the past. I also had the chance to take Simon Lazenby around in a 2-seater F1 car ahead of the British Grand Prix to soak up that atmosphere and really feel what it was about, and equally for me to get my eye in and give you a track guide ahead of the Grand Prix. And then 2017, probably the biggest challenge I've ever had in this sport and my career. I was the fill-in for Felipe Massa when he took unwell at the Hungarian Grand Prix. I was dropped into the car ahead of qualifying with no practice, no experience, never driven the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1. It was a real muscle machine and I had to get up to speed in as little as 4 laps and make it count. The weekend got harder as it went on, but it will always stand out as one of the pinnacles I reached. And then lastly, from the other side, I got to interview Daniel Ricciardo at the next Grand Prix after he'd won the Monaco Grand Prix. He was narrowly denied it a few years before, but he got the chance and he took it with both hands. He was underpowered, he was under high pressure all the way through the Grand Prix, and we managed to sit down and chat to him about it and see how he celebrated it and how it meant to him. But first up, like I said, was that quiz. The knowledge and who could shake the maraca the quickest.
This summer's most anticipated event has arrived. Starring Lewis Hamilton, Max Chilton, Jenson Button, and Paul di Resta in the Big British Quiz. Oh, and Johnny and Anthony were there too.
First question. Name one of the 3 bands headlining Glastonbury this year.
The Stones.
Yes, Rolling Stones.
Sorry, you didn't shake your maraca.
He didn't shake his
maraca.
How much is the cost of a first-class stamp?
60p.
It is exactly.
Well done, mate.
It's exactly the answer that you read off the. Who is the author of the Canterbury Tales? Old one, this one. Old one.
It's not J.K. Rowling.
Oh, this
No,
is.
it's not J.K. Rowling. That's right. Slightly older than that.
We're drivers, man. Come on.
Rhymes with saucer.
Chaucer.
Chaucer, yes. Congratulations.
Well done.
That is 2-1. Which yeast-based spread is the best? Vegemite, Marmite, Bovril. Marmite. Exactly, that's correct.
Yes.
Question 8. 4 counties in the UK beginning with the letter S.
Staffordshire.
Yeah.
Somerset.
Yeah. Somerset boy.
Sussex. Yeah, there you go.
There, that, yeah, that's 4. Well,
Thanks, mate.
Jenson, brilliant.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you couldn't have Scotland. Scotland is not a county. We polled 100 people and asked them, in a fight between all the British woodland creatures, who would win?
Badger. Oh. Second, I would say an otter.
Second, you'd say otter. Third?
I couldn't see the rest of it.
Round 2 is the
E-fit round.
It looks like Borat, but I'm going to give you a copy each.
That is amazing.
There are 5 drivers on there. Oh my God, I'm turn that over. Hold on. You get that one.
Okay.
You get that one. Go on, Lewis, you go first.
So we've got Michael, Michael's Chin.
Yeah.
Nigel's Tash. Yeah.
Who's Tash?
Yeah.
Alonso's Eyes.
Yeah.
We've done that one. No, someone's doing it last. Ayrton's. Yeah, okay.
Ayrton.
No.
I think you're wrong, mate.
Ayrton's.
You've got 4 of the 5. Scottish.
Stuart.
Yes. It's Jackie Stewart's nose.
He's a good-looking bloke.
This is the picture round. The figure that's blacked out is all I need, and these are people on the podium in British Grand Prix. 1.
No.
Yeah, I think we started easily with that one. Johnny, in his winning year. 92.
Brundle.
It is indeed. Incredibly hirsute. Martin Brundle. Okay, 3. It is indeed Rubens. It is indeed Rubens Barrichello. That one.
2000.
Anyway.
I should.
Michael!
Oh dear. You classic.
What is in your picnic box?
I like Johnny's. Johnny's, I like it. It is.
Has he got the old leopard skin?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have.
kinky.
Nice.
I brought these
He's
with
used
me.
to leopard skin.
I'm shaking, I'm so excited. Ready?
Yeah.
It's edible.
Uh-huh.
How's that, mate?
Is this fig?
Yeah,
Fig, well done.
Gotta eat it then.
Gotta go for it. I'll go for it, yeah.
Too late.
Oh my god! Why are you all so big? The cow's
So small.
small.
Because you're so small.
Pickled up.
An horrible onion, yes.
Number 5.
You gotta get your tongue
That's
out.
two as a race now.
In your mouth.
Yeah.
And then close it down.
How much?
Oh, massive.
It is mustard, yeah. Mustard, well done.
So much!
Seven.
7.
Take a bite. What are you doing in the mouth?
That's a gherkin thingy.
Gherkin.
Horrible thing.
Gherkin.
That's horrible. There, I hate those.
So this is the decider.
Is it? What is it?
You're going to take it all in.
3, 2, 1, go.
What is it? What is it? What is it? Go, go. What is it? What the hell was that?
It is.
I really are. Boy, it's disgusting.
Minnows.
And chivy paste.
Yeah.
Gentleman's relish, as they call it.
And the final score, Johnny's team wins 11-7.
It's total shot.
That's for Roscoe.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just for it to help with broken leg.
Oh, so it was all planned before then?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, where was our prize?
Oh dear.
That was well done.
So you can see we were a lot younger, fresher, certainly a lot less grey than we are now. Fitter, but equally very professional. How racing drivers show that anger and aggression on track, it can be completely switched, and especially as a Brit, respecting your other competitors. How we all got along was great, and it was nice to see those times and reflect upon it. Johnny Herbert, well, he still brings the best out of people, and that's a smile on your face. Up next was Simon Lazenby, taking him around the home of Formula 1, and that's Silverstone, the biggest, boldest, fastest track on the calendar.
Right, Paul, first outing of the new Sky Sports F1 race suits. I'm sure yours fits better than mine does.
There's enough for a bacon sandwich tomorrow morning, isn't there?
This has got to be Crofties. I'm biased, but Silverstone, what am I going to expect out there?
It's dynamite. I mean, this is the pinnacle of what I think a Formula 1 track's about. It's the first time you're going to get a real tested down course. And I think physically the drivers are going to get a real sense how hard it is.
And this two-seater, how close to the performance of one of today's F1 cars are we going to get?
It's early 2000 car, but it's a V10 engine. I mean,
Yeah.
It's still got plenty of power. I'm sure it'll shock you. I mean, I'm sure you'll be tense in a certain area, whether you're hanging on for dear life. But I'll be nice to you. I'll try and break you in gently, as you did to me when I joined you on the other side of the camera.
Quite right. No coming off at Beckett's at 200 miles an hour, right? Promise?
Can't promise anything.
Let's go.
I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel. There's a voice in my head that drives my heel. It's my baby calling, says I need you here. And it's 4:30.
Too many kebabs last night. This is the ride of your life. Green light. Get the e-pigs, bring the car right back to left-hand side. Brooklyn into Luffield. Nice sunny drive. Onto the hangar straight. Hope you didn't have a big breakfast, Simon. I washed my hair this morning. We're coming down into snow. Lovely, 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 lovely PPR. You're on board for the final lap sector of this circuit, Silverstone. And now we're getting to the U-turn straight. This is going to be full tilt. This is just an absolute rush.
Yeah. Don't know what all the fuss is about.
Couldn't be done any better, could it, Simon?
Yeah, that's pretty good fun.
Whoosh.
Oh.
You look a little bit flustered.
I tell you what,
What's the matter?
I didn't think you went fast enough. What would you have got up to down hangar?
Probably 260, 270. These guys are going to be doing
300.
320,
5.5 G.
Yeah.
You feel the G particularly when you stamp on it at slow.
The problem was we had a bit of a heavyweight in the back.
Yeah.
And you.
Yeah, no, that's not actually fat. That's the microphone.
You look a bit hot and flustered now.
I am a bit hot and flustered. That is up there in the top couple of things
Welcome
I've ever
to
done.
our world.
Yeah,
Rather than you being comfortable.
I've got respect.
Rather you being
I've got
comfortable.
respect for that. That was great.
Well, I think the biggest thing I take from that day was how cramped the car was. It's built for somebody Anthony Davidson's size, not my size. I was really restricted in elbow space with Simon's legs down my side, but I managed to hustle the car around and try and show Simon what Formula 1 was all about. To see the reaction he got for someone who's been involved in the sport so long, giving him that chance, especially around Silverstone, I think was key. And he still talks about it to this day. Up next is the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2017 when I went there to fill in for Martin Brundle as a commentator. But then things very quickly changed on Friday afternoon into Saturday, and here's the story.
The breaking story, Felipe Massa is too unwell. Paul di Resta, he will be taking part in qualifying and the race in the Williams.
His last qualifying session in Formula 1 was the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2013.
I got a text message to say you need to come to the Williams engineer's office quite quickly because we need to take you to the briefing. They had explained to me that my services may be required and I should just get myself as prepared as possible to be expected to jump in the car in the morning. A whole load of emotions kind of fly into you. Of course, the big thing is the smile on your face.
How does he get himself into the groove for this session?
Going into qualifying in a car you've never driven before, yeah, that's a challenge, and that's an understatement.
The reality hits you and you say, wow, pretty nervous, anxious. You want to obviously get out there and get in these cars. You know, they've kind of been waving in front of me all year. It's like somebody dangling a carrot but saying you can't touch that. You always get very nervous when you drive a Formula 1 car anyway, in any new car I've driven. When you're out your comfort zone, and I believe I probably was out of my comfort zone there, but as soon as I let go of that speed limit at the end of the pit lane, it was like being back at home.
Away he goes then, on an exploratory lap of adventure.
Normally, you would obviously be hitting it quite hard, but I was completely new to that car, everything that was out there, and I just tried to build myself into the session as best as I could and ultimately make my fastest lap the last lap I did.
As he crosses the line, he goes 19th fastest. That is a very credible effort indeed.
7 tenths away from Lance Stroll, just from jumping in this morning. Unbelievable.
I was pretty satisfied with qualifying. You know, within everything I could achieve, I don't think I could have expected any more in the short term we got. And I think even shocked a few people up and down the pit lane what we've done. But me being greedy as a driver, I wanted more. I managed to get some sleep on Saturday night. I got a bit more than I did on Friday night. My wife was quite positive when I spoke to her on the phone. She said, look, you've got to do it. You've just got to do the best, and I'm sure it'll be more than enough, as it has been the rest of your life. The atmosphere is electric. There's nothing you can explain in a Formula 1 track parade, especially when you're on the truck with a lot of the drivers. Some of them do different things, some of them obviously listen to music. I haven't done a race start, I've not done a pit stop. I need to learn the formation lap procedure. A lot of the guys were very friendly and came up to me, some not so. I won't mention the names who they were. But it was nice to see the support, and it was nice to actually see they were interested in, you know, what I did yesterday, how I was feeling for today, and some of them genuinely were out there to try and give you a bit of help.
It is a beautiful scene today, a few white clouds in the sky. Paul di Resta starts his first race since Brazil 2013 from 19th.
Wow, it's such a tall order, and I think the start is just one of the many things coming his way.
5 lights on ahead of the drivers, and it's lights out, and away we go.
I didn't make the best start. I've got to say I messed that bit up, but I managed to recover it a little bit at turn 1. These new generation of Formula 1 cars have got a lot more downforce, a lot more tyre grip than I'm used to, just because of the sheer size of them.
Okay, Paul, I'm afraid we've got a problem with the car. We're going to have to retire.
I was pretty gutted we never got to the end of the Grand Prix, but you know, we had a small issue. I understand why the team stopped.
at the end of the day, there was no points up for grabs, and I don't think realistically there ever was going to be unless something dramatically went wrong.
I tried to just keep my nose clean. I was very cautious, as I wanted to be, because I was only going to gain more respect for this car as the runs went on and the tyres degraded, and it was nice to stand in for the team, and I think we done as much as we could given what we had.
But it wasn't really until you get to the airport and get on the plane that you actually think about what those 2 days were and how quickly they went away. It was very different to what I thought I was going to be doing on Saturday morning. The support I had from family, friends, people getting in contact, even other teams, team principals. It was very nice, and also to come back and reflect on that after the summer break, but it just makes you think about what you're missing, and I miss getting in those cars. I still have to pinch myself to realise that happened on that weekend. Having gone there, as I said, to be the lead commentator on Sky was already a big ask, but I was the reserve driver. It was my duty, if someone became unwell, to fill in at Williams. I hadn't been on the simulator to get myself familiar with the controls since pre-Melbourne, because I was racing DTM alongside Formula 1 every consecutive weekend I was at a racetrack. But fortunately, when I was there, I was paying attention. I was taking part in all the meetings, and I always say to the engineers, if you have to tell me something, you do it. Equally, I'll follow as much as I can, and when the time came, you have to prepare me. But obviously when I got the news, I had to do my last seat fit, sit in the proper race car, not the mock-up where I'd done my seat. So to get on that on Friday night, do the FIA jump out test to make sure I passed that, make sure I was familiar with the mechanics, make sure I was comfortable with all the controls, make sure my helmet was even built up and ready, fortunately from Peter Berger at Arai, and everything came together. But when I got to the track on Saturday morning, I'd been told it wasn't going to happen. It was going to be Felipe back in the car, but he felt too unwell to continue after taking part in the early stages of FP3. So then it was about getting some lunch, sitting in the engineer's office and pulling on that suit. But when I rolled down the end of the pit lane and shut my visor, I was back at home. I was absolutely in my element. And fortunately, over the course of that qualifying session, those runs I did, having not driven that car, I think I did as much as I possibly could. Another set of tyres, another few laps, who knows what could have happened. But to qualify P19 and not be too far away from my then teammate, Lance Stroll, who'd been driving that car all year. It was a mind-blowing experience, and to drive that turbo hybrid era car around a track I love in Budapest was certainly something special. But it gave me the bug again, and I went through the whole summer break after Budapest not knowing if I was going to be driving the car at Spa. So I had to prepare myself. The physical shape had to be upped. I had to lose a bit of weight because I've always been on the heavy side of Formula 1, but it was a challenge I was prepared to take. And equally, I was going to be ready if it arose. It didn't. I look back now and it's precious. It's part of my F1 journey. I now stand at the other side as a presenter, and this leads very nicely into seeing what you get from the reaction from a good friend Daniel Ricciardo having won the Monaco Grand Prix.
It's race time in Monaco. Lights out and away we go. Ricciardo and Vettel getting very close together.
Losing power. Will it get better?
Negative, Daniel, negative.
Can Ricciardo go this slowly and win the Monaco Grand Prix?
It's redemption day for Daniel Ricciardo. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Redemption.
Daniel, I'm going to apologise about the umbrella first. I'm scared of heights and I don't want to fall in that water because it's not quite as nice as a swimming pool you fell in Monaco after that big win.
What did you say? You're scared of heights?
Scared of heights, yeah.
What's the umbrella got to do with heights?
Well, I'm just worried it's something to hold on. It's the only thing I could get here.
Fair enough.
No, we've got,
fair enough.
The real reason is we've got some videos to follow through here. Following on from that big win in Monaco. Where are you at?
Yeah, just had some fun really and just tried to soak it in. I guess it's not every day you win Monaco, and it's like, I just wanted to appreciate the moment.
Was it kind of job done when you saw Max hit the wall, obviously? Did you think it was a bit easier after that?
Part of me was disappointed because I was like, I wanted everyone in it. You know, I wanted everyone to go hammer and tong for Saturday afternoon. So part of me was like, oh, but yeah, it did obviously remove one competitor.
So we've got obviously the boys hanging over the pit wall here as you get to the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was. It's quite hard celebrating with a halo.
I mean, obviously, up in the Royal Box, you can see how happy he is. And then obviously, world famous. How long have you been practicing that?
There's been a lot of memes coming out. There's like a Titanic one, there's a Dirty Dancing one.
How had you thought about that, though, seriously, before you got up there? Because you knew it was going to happen.
I was like, if I try and do something cool, I'm probably going to stuff it up and I'll probably look like someone that tried and failed. So I was like, let's do something funny. And I am a bit of like an idiot, I guess. So I was like, belly flop.
Everything you've set your car up to be comfortable with goes in the race. You're like, is it going to come back? And they're like, no. How do you deal with that?
That was a punch, I guess, in the stomach. Like when I asked, is it going to get better? And he came back straight away and just said negative. And the way Simon said it.
My heart sung for you as well.
Oh, mate. I was like, so that kind of hurt. But then I obviously had to quickly kind of reset, and I kind of figured out, okay, it's not going to get better, but maybe this is as bad as it will get. A lot of things like, so brake balance comes all the way forward to keep the rear brakes cool. You can't attack the braking, so a lot of lifting and coasting. Because I couldn't hit the brake pedal hard, you kind of squeeze it on. Then you start to kind of glaze them and you get a lot of brake vibrations. So by the end of the race, every time I pressed the brake, the car's like doing this, shaking, and yeah, there was a lot to take in, but I don't know. I was like, part of me was like, I'm not losing this race.
Monaco owed you one, though, didn't it? Owed you one from 2016.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, how smiley you are still now. I don't think I've ever seen you look so depressed when this happened, when this pit stop was going on. I mean, this is pretty extreme, isn't it, to look back and see what it was all about. But did you know it was always going to come back to you one day in this car with Red Bull around here?
I believed it would. That's the day people realised how much this sport actually meant to me. They're like, he's always smiling, and they couldn't believe I could get upset.
I remember texting you and still saying, this is still a Monaco podium,
Yeah.
Danny boy. You know, you still got to be happy with that. You still got to celebrate it.
That's what I had to tell myself that day. I was like, you still got to be grateful, I guess. And yes, it's not the win, but I'm still racing F1. I did the whole weekend was awesome. But yeah, coming back to the win, it wasn't going to happen. Like I knew it kind of owed me, but I still needed to work for it, and felt like I got it.
Does it make you love the team a bit more and want you to stay here after celebrating that?
It was very cool. I had a lot of love from the team. Winning and having the energy station, like that whole platform, it's funny, I'm like, if I do move on, I'm not gonna have this wicked energy station in Monaco. I was like, it's quite a cool thing that. So look, it was certainly a good thing for us as a team. So yeah, we'll see where it takes us now.
I was standing on the energy station when you came on. Mum and Dad were standing.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have them there to celebrate that win with them?
That was definitely like 100% the coolest part of the day. The last time they were there was Spa 2014 for a win. So they hadn't, nearly 4 years since they'd been there for a win, and that's kind of hard. Like China, they weren't there, and obviously I'm happy in that, but I'm sad that they're not there because they've been a part of the journey from day one. So yeah, them to like be there, win Monaco with their presence that was huge.
Well, listen, I hope we see more of that, but have fun this week.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Not many people get to stand on a Formula 1 podium, let alone the top step, at the Monaco Grand Prix on a Sunday afternoon. Daniel Ricciardo drove a very calculated, measured drive. He was guided through the team when he was underperforming, but I think on the back of a few years before being horribly denied that win, he got the job done. It was career defining. I think to this day that's probably why he made the step to Renault, because he'd achieved one of the ultimate goals, and the next one is a world championship. I hope, through all my colleagues at Sky and all the clips they've given you, you get a small glimpse of what we're all missing in Formula 1. But for now, enjoy it. Hope to be back soon, and goodbye for now.